Alrighty, guys, welcome back to another session of backtesting where I'm going to backtest another half month's worth of data. This is episode number 15, I believe, of our backtesting streams where we are going from 2022 all the way up until 2026 in one single stretch. If you guys are interested in checking out the rest of these videos, this entire process is going to be recorded and posted live on my YouTube. With that being said, if you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And if you guys are wanting to get 15% off of your FX replay subscription, go ahead and use replay 15. Again, replay 15, and it'll get you 15% off of your FX replay on a monthly basis. With that being said, let's drop in on it. So the month that we did was September. We did the first half of it. I don't know if I'm going to do the full rest of this month because this could take like an hour 30. But I can get in at least 30 minutes in because it's almost 1 o'clock right now. But yeah, that's where we're at currently. This is where I'm at currently, and this is where I'm at currently. It's almost 1 in the morning right now, and it's 12:46, so I can do at least 30 minutes before heading to bed. So let's get a fresh layout in, new layouts, and drop in on this. So this is Monday the 12th. I am taking notice that we are pretty bullish right now. Actually, I may be wanting to trade down lower. Reasonings why I want to trade down lower is just internal to external, looking for these lows here. Weekly C2, and we are tapping us into a very relative level on pretty much all assets. So right now we actually got SMT break logics playing out as this high that ES has taken has just been broken from all the assets. So now we're going internal to external. So I'm more leaning on the bearish end of things. With me leaning more on the bearish end of things, I do want to trade lower. With that being said, this is the last relevant high. Looking to see daily profile. We could have a high of that London reversal type model. With that London reversal, we could see this going lower here, and I do want to take notice of this internal range that is still available. There is no lower day that's set with anything of true significance here, so I would be more aiming at trying to be bearish. We do have some low resistance here, and I would aim for us to be bearish. I'm not really seeing too much of a higher day set with anything yet. But I do want to see this internal range going from external. Why as well external? Because there's no more reason. And I do want to go back down to internal. With that being said, looks like we are not going in external to internal yet. And it honestly might go up to this high. And reasonings why we might see that high, it just doesn't seem to be, yeah, definitely not. So what can we take notice of is internal range here getting held from this gap. We do have a fractal model forming, and we do take notice that price is making its way upwards back up to this high. So we are failing to reverse off of this high, leaving behind all of this low resistance, and we are trading away from a high resistance low where now we can trade actually this V-shaped reversal back up to the upside, and we do take notice of all of this is happening already. We do have a low that is set here with a PSP actually, and it's actually a PSP SMT fill, as there is PSP SMT fill, and YM is a lot stronger, and there's a low resistance here. So I'm going to trade YM with this PSP bullish SMT fill, as there is this SMT like that, and there's the PSP. YM is a lot stronger than NQ right now, as there is this SMT like this. Is that the low? I mean, it's the same shit, dude, honestly. This low got manipulated. NQ is confirming it with this very strong closure up to the upside. NQ wants to go up to this high. YM wants to go up to that high as well. I'm trading YM because we're already over this high, and we are showing that failure to manipulate status. Excuse me. And then I can put my stops to this low here, and I can shoot this for 2R. Let's not shoot it for that high because I'm looking to trade back down lower anyway. So I'm going to go and limit fill this. And then that would be your entry here. Stops can go break even as soon as you cross that high, really. Because we'd have to, well, right there is your TP, right? So right there, you could have entered that one there, and you could have entered this here as well. I would, again, because I'm only aiming up to this high, I would just push down to 2R, get limit filled on that 2R, and then we can take it up to that 2R mark. That's the best option. I want to work on that just as well as putting in limit fills like that for those 2Rs. But basically all that one was that 15-minute PSP SMT fill V-shape reversal outside of an internal range, low resistance, and failing to really manipulate and expand away from these highs equals what? We need to go and take it out. This becomes the relevant high. And now in order to trade lower, I would just wait for a 15-minute C2. So now there really is no 15-minute C2. So we're blasting through it. If we're going to blast through it, then honestly, like it's not bearish, right? So this is not really a bearish move anymore. So what would you want to do? You would trade this higher, right? Waiting for a 15-minute swing here. And you do have that 15-minute SMT fill getting put into play here with a 15-minute C2. And then you have that 3-minute push. You don't really long at the highest point of the day. So I would just be aiming at trying to take longs here just because of the fact that we are failing to reverse off of this high. So if we're going to fail to reverse off of this high, what is this move down to the downside? A higher time frame retracement. Also taking in consideration of this bullish price leg, we are failing to reverse. So this means that this is just external, internal, going back to external with all of this low resistance that is getting left behind. We do have SMT break that is in full effect now, and that's forming the low of the 10 a.m. candle with a 15-minute swing. This is an accumulation. We're looking for that 15-minute swing. Here's your 15-minute swing. Possible SMT fill like that. 15-minute swing. Fuck yeah, you're not trading on YM. I mean, you could trade like something like this. I mean, you could wait for that continuation entry. Oh, fuck. You're just wrong in general, right? And yeah, that would be basically it. The best option was just from this range low, internal, external. That's the best. That was the best trade. Anything after that is kind of chopped. I'm not going to lie to you there. Right? Trying to go and hit a reversal on a Monday. Not it, Chief. Not it. But yeah, that's basically that first trade. So, drink some water real quick. All right, cool. All right, so big dump here. This looks like news. There's a possibility that we go back up to data high, correct this range at minimal. Actually, no, we're bearish. Yeah, we are definitely bearish. Trading that internal, external here, pushing downwards, having the reversal. Monday opens high, reversal here. CPI is a CPI. It's not NFP, so it has to be CPI. Anything really drastic like that. Yeah, CPI here. So if CPI is going to press us downwards, then we can just hit the continuation lower, right? So with that being said, there is the reversal happening because of that CPI candle. All of this becomes your draw on liquidity, which is all low resistance. Yeah, so all of this is going to be considered your draw on liquidity, which is all low resistance that's located down here. Realistically speaking, just have a little fill. I'd like to push up into the range here just to get like some form of manipulations going, and then us trade down lower. So here would be a manipulation out of that 15-minute gap here. And then you could trade this down lower. Problem with this is I don't want to trade at the lowest point of this expansion where we can see an accumulation. I'd much rather see a little bit higher of a feed. So a little bit higher of a feed upwards. Looking to see if I can trade a 15-minute C2 formation or just keep falling. Okay, well, if it's going to keep falling here, I'd want to see, okay, so if we're going to just keep falling, I'm going to wait to see if I can get a 15-minute swing, and I could trade this lower. And this would be trading the top of the 10 a.m. candle lower. We do have this SMT fill as we are pushing down lower like that. And then now we can trade this back down to the downside. Ugh, fuck. The problem with it is I'm not a huge fan of trading at the lowest point of the day. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of trading at the lowest point of the day, so I need to see a pushback higher. I just don't like to trade at the lowest point of days versus to the lowest point of days, right? Because this is where I always get chopped up in chasing price, as we are super low in this range right now. It's just not probabilistic for me, and I would just let this whole day go. Honestly, I wouldn't trade that. Fuck, I can't trade at the lowest point of the day as part of my rules, and just a way that I avoid chasing price, because I always get caught up in the chase when I do the trade like that. So there really wouldn't be anything there for me, which is fine though. So nothing there. Let's go and take a look here. Price is moving upwards right now. I mean, ideally, I want to go and trade back up to these highs. And the big reasoning why is just because fucking expansion retracement. Right now, we are doing what? Accumulating, right? Just basing it off of this. Yeah, this is definitely an accumulation. So you got the manipulation of these lows and then looking like we are getting sent up higher. It's just really just a consolidation range, right? We are what happens after a massive expansion, accumulation, right? So with that being said, I mean, you could trade lower if you really wanted to. Here, maybe internal, external, maybe, but even then, dog, like this is a seek and destroy profile, right? On both ends, seek and destroy. I wouldn't trade anything. Personal opinion. It's just after a massive push, we accumulate. And that's just what market does, right? So with that being said, I'd much rather go and wait till external ranges has been impacted, and maybe we can trade down lower from there. See if we can get those highs to get manipulated. Here's your highs getting manipulated. Now we can trade lower, right? So now we have like a protected level that we possibly can trade away from. So waiting to see if I can get like a 15-minute swing here. Here's your 15-minute swing. Here's a 15-minute swing here off of those highs, as there is an SMT here like this. But again, this is seek and destroy. I don't know why I'm fucking entertaining this, honestly. Yeah, this is a full seek and destroy profile. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Broadening formation. You don't really want to trade a broadening formation like that. All right. Go to. How do you go to the next day? Next day is open. So here you got your, again, just accumulation. Why is it accumulating? I mean, we do hit this relevant high. We're just, I mean, I guess now you could say that we are pushing away from it. I just don't like all of these failure swings. So with that being said, let's drop in on a daily trading. So previous day was that accumulation, right? Expansion, accumulation, previous day manipulates out the accumulation highs. There is SMT in between it now, as NQ and EYM and ES has not taken that highs, and the asset setting the SMT is actually reversing price right now. Daily profile is telling me that we do have an Asia high a day, as we are expanding away from this 1800 high. There is a SMT in between London's high right now, as there is a push upwards, and there is this SMT that's located like that. Price is making its way down lower already and expanding away from that SMT on all the assets. Right now, it does look like low resistance, but it is SMT'd, and I do want to recognize that, as there is this two-stage of divergence that's located there and here, right? So with that all being said, like that, oh, maybe not. I don't fucking know, dude. It's just an accumulation, honestly. So with this all being said here, it'd be kind of difficult for me to trade down lower, just being with all of those accumulation, the low resistance highs above me. I mean, best case scenario is just waiting for like a 15-minute swing formation, just because you don't really know what to trade away from here, right? Looking like we do have a new manipulation here, manipulating out pretty much all of these highs. Oh, there's equal highs there on YM. It's kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie to you. Equal highs there, equal highs here. I mean there's an SMT here though. Is it? Hold on. It might be an SMT. Not entirely sure. Yeah. I mean SMT at the highest point of the day, but even damn, bro, it's a fucking accumulation. I know that I want to be bearish here, but it's just like a protected swing that I can trust is what I'm trying to go and define. Here's your 15-minute swing. Okay, well, we're actually going and expanding away from here. So there is SMT between all of this low resistance at the current high day as ES has taken it. So has YM. With that being said, I do have all of these lows as for free, pretty much SMT, and we are expanding away with this 15-minute C2. And then this is setting your high of that 10 a.m. candle with that 15-minute C2. The new 15 does open up. Here it opens high and expands away. All assets is expanding away, and the current 15-minute is expanding away from these highs like that. Yeah, this actually doesn't look half bad. It's like that, as there is going from range high to range low with the SMT saying that. Gets activated. Stops close to break even once you cross all of these lows. And then you just hold for 2R just to fill this new week opening gap as well. Is this new week opening? No, new day opening. SMT between the highs. And then there's your flush. Right, so the SMT does go and help the cause here. I don't really like these equal highs, but these equal highs has already been swept by YM or by NQ. So this supposedly quote unquote equal high is a 2-stage SMT, as it does press down here and we do press up here. So there's your 2-stage right there. And then this goes and presses us downwards down to these lows, as the once stronger asset is now the weaker asset, and then we want to go and press down lower. Yeah, that was just basically trading it down to this range low, which is going from internal the range, ideally here, hit, expansion, retracement, expansion, target, everything going from range high to range low. And how do we get on side with it? Is just waiting for that 15-minute C2. Finally gets a 15-minute swing and is trading the C3 here. The C3 does have that 3-minute CISD, but then what really does help here is that 15-minute C3 opens up high and immediate expansion through these lows with very heavy displacement on all the assets. So that's what makes me more so confident in the position in itself, right? Yeah, it's basically that, dog. Like, not that fucking difficult. Going to the next session. Oh, I ate this pizza, bro. Shit was fire. Sorry. That was so fucking that was all over the place. Ideally, and again, as well, you had your accumulation day, expansion, accumulation, manipulation, internal, external range. Going down to there, trading from internal, right? Trading from internal to external. This is a retracement, expansion, retracement, expansion. Going down to my ultimate draw on liquidity, long term, going to be those lows there. Presses us downwards into this relative level. This is where you can trade external, external, internal. This is Friday. So going from external to print the wick TGIF style, as all assets has tapped us into very relevant levels. And I would like to print the wick of that weekly candle back up to the upside. So with this all being said, I'd trade that TGIF. Here's your 7-hour chart. No high a day set with anything of true significancy. I'd like to trade back into the range just to trade that TGIF. We do see prices moving downwards right now. I'm more so waiting to see if 930 can reverse price here, because if I'm going to be bullish, the time that you'd want to see it be bullish at is not at 930. See if 930 is going to reverse here. So we do have a form of reversal here on YM. There is an SMT that's located like that. we are having a decoupled move currently. So NQ is moving downwards, YM is moving upwards. I want to see which asset is making the manipulation. Ideally, narrative speaking is telling me that we are supposed to be going up higher, right? So what's wrong? Stop it. Stop. Okay. I'm trying to trade up higher. So I really can't trade lower, especially when the high day is not really forming anything of true significancy like that. And it's Friday, and this is just all low resistance. I don't want to trade away from this. I'd much rather trade up higher, right? So it's just waiting for that 15-minute swing like this. Accumulation, manipulation, looking for the distribution up higher now. So this would be your manipulation, and this would be your distribution. Here's your first CISD. We got a nice V shape going on right now. So let's see if we can get a secondary CISD here. Okay, here's your secondary CISD getting put into play as NQ or YM is pushing us up to the upside. 10 EM's a wick, does not have a wick. That's not nice. I will say that is not nice at all for me personally. There is a wick here on NQ though. I'll trade NQ. It just seems a little bit better in terms of that wick. And we are closer as well. So I don't know. We're about the same. Fuck. I don't know. I really don't know which asset I want to trade here. 2R seems a little bit of a stretch as well, bro. I ain't even going front about that. Okay, let's see if I can place this order here like this. See if we get limit filled on it. Tapped in. Okay. Honestly, if you want to reduce risk, being that it is a Friday, you could, bro. I would reduce risk here. Stops to break even. Just because YM is tapping us into its very first level. Yeah, I go stops to break even. Oh, shit. Well, we get stopped out of break even. I wanted to reduce risk just because this OB, we should not be fucking revisiting that as well already, honestly. After this 15-minute push, yeah, we're good, dog. Fuck that. Good management on the risk, though. Cool. Break even there. See what it do here. So taking a look here, continuing, this was the wick of that weekly candle. You really can't go and expect to flip that whole thing, especially like that, bro. That's kind of difficult, not even gonna lie. But obviously, bullet bearish. We can take notice that YM has already tapped us into that level. With YM tapping us into this level already, what am I going to do is study the phases of price that it performs here. As you can tell, YM is not reversing price. So what does that mean for the other assets? The other assets should be able to catch up. Trading from internal range here. I wanted to go and play that lagging asset to go and meet with that exact same low. We do take that accumulation manipulation, looking for a 30-minute. There's a 30-minute C3 here, 15-minute C2 pushing me us all, or C3, accumulation manipulation, trading the internal to external. Okay, so decoupled move, just the rip higher. I always wait for 3 minutes, so we would have avoided a loss here. At least one of my older losses. I would short it here in anticipation for this high to remain, and then you just get fucked, right? With that manipulated move upwards higher. Now I'm just waiting to see if I can get a 15-minute C2 here. So no 15-minute C2. Looking to see if I can get a 15-minute swing here. 930 really does move up higher. I cannot trade away from these lows though. I'm not anticipating for this to be considered a reversal because of bearish order flow is still telling me to be bearish here, right? I'm more so looking to see if this 15-minute swing, we have an SMT fill, and it is a strength switch right now as the weaker asset is going and flowing up higher. And it looks like it does want to go here from range low to range high. So I'm going to flip my bias bullish here. I'm flipping my bias bullish as 930 reverses price. and we are going and pressing us up to a very obvious level for that 15-minute SMT fill, and we want to see this SMT fill go and deliver us up to those highs, right? As that strength has switched into that weaker asset to go and rip up higher. So now your stops will go to break even. Oh, that fucker missed. Damn. That's fucking crazy. Oh, shit. Damn, that's crazy, bro. I thought we had space. I genuinely thought we had space to get past it, but now we're reversing off of these highs. There was that SMT break logic, and it was just basically the reasoning why I flipped my bias is just because the asset setting the manipulation, which was the SMT, is doing what now? It's reversing price with aggression up to the upside. So if YM, where the SMT is being set, is reversing price up to the upside, then that means that the SMT is valid. If the SMT is valid and we are failing to manipulate out the relevant highs, which we thought this gap was supposed to hold us down, what does that mean? We're going to the next draw on liquidity. What can we tell about this high a day? There is no high that's set with anything of true significancy. So that's kind of why I wanted to go and aim up there. How did I get on side with this play? Is the 15-minute SMT fill, as this gap has been impacted here on NQ, and it did not get impacted here on YM, showing that YM had that strength. With that strength there, I take the CISD, as we do have that 10 a.m. open, high, low, close. I enter here. Stops went down to the SMT fill, that 15-minute low. I shoot for 2R, which I should have went and pulled this down just a little bit more, and then I can drag this into 2R just like that. And that's how I should have entered it, right? I need to start aiming for targets and not past targets. That's just something I want to work on and really backtest and put into practice, right? I'm a market entry kind of guy, though. Not gonna front there. I hate limits, dog. I genuinely hate limits. It's just fucking I don't do so well with limits, right? And with that being said, there wouldn't be anything from there, and it would just be a continue on forward type objective or move, so to say. So looking here, weekly time frame, the push is downwards. We got SMT at the weekly lows. Something I'm aware of, something I don't really care for though, because we are in bearish order flow, so SMT at the lows is bound to happen, right? And what does SMT at the lows even do? It just triggers for you to do retracement. So with that being said, I'm more so leaning on the bearish end, trading out of that old daily OB as my point of interest. Daily gap is holding price, trading that C2 into expansion, as that the daily has went and reversed during Asia very early in the day as well. There is SMT in between Asia and London right now. So with this SMT like this, there is SMT in between the highs, and the asset that sets the SMT, which is YM, is going and reversing price expansively down to the downside. That's validating the SMT and validating that high a day. With this being said, we have all of that low resistance liquidity that's located below the once weaker asset or stronger asset, as the SMT on the downside is pointing for NQ to go up higher, is now showing you that NQ is a lot weaker and YM is strength switching. We are expanding already. Overnight, there has been expansion. Overnight there has been expansion, so ideally I would like to see a push back up into the range first prior to driving down further. And that's just because I don't like to short at the lowest points of days like this. I like to short to the lowest points of days, so I need to manipulate out these highs. I cannot trade away from any of those highs here. YM right now is showing you weakness. I just cannot trade at the lowest point of the days after this expansion has already occurred. I need to see a push back up and that different phase to happen. Right now, the different phase is the accumulation. So I'd like to see those accumulation highs get manipulated. And from these manipulation of these accumulation highs, show me that 15-minute model back down to the downside. So this would be like your 15-minute model. Just the highs are stacked up like that. Here would be your 15-minute model back down to the downside after going and manipulating out all of these highs here. And this is forming the high of a 12 a.m. candle. So that's a 6-hour candle that's located right there, forming the high here with that 15-minute C2. Then you look here to make sure you have that V-shaped type reversal. You do have like an OB getting played out here if this is what you wanted to try to enter off of. I don't know. I don't trade at 12 o'clock. I don't have an edge at 12. But basically, this would be considered your retracement and in the beginning of this price leg, right? I don't know, something like this. I definitely do not trade at this time, but that'd be something you'd want to go and aim for, right? And then that'd be like your press downwards. 15-minute C2, 3-minute OB. This is the top of your 15-minute open high low close. And then your target is just for this low resistance in alignment with this low resistance, right? So it's the same picture, and you're just trading down lower. I don't trade at 12, so I wouldn't be able to tell you, but that's kind of just what it is, right? Expansion, retracement, expansion. 15-minute C2 sets the high of the 10 a.m. candle, as this is your 10 a.m. opening high, setting the high of the 10 a.m. with a 15-minute fractal, also setting the high of the 12 a.m. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about with the 6-hour thing, so I'm not going to talk about that. This is just like shit that I think about. It's like, never mind, I'm not going to talk about that. I don't know what I'm talking about when it comes down to that. But yeah, that's just basically all it was, right? For tests, obviously I don't trade at 12 o'clock, so I'm not going to enter a trade at 12 o'clock starting today because I felt like it. No, that's not how this works, right? So taking a look here on the daily time frame, we are bearish here. Ideally, I do want to trade down lower to all of this low resistance. YM kind of just in a consolidation though. I'm going to say that NQ is having a hard time going and delivering to this low resistance. I do want to trade down lower though, without a doubt, accumulating, hitting that manipulation. YM making a deeper pull back into the range though. I do want to say that this is an accumulation type profile, manipulating out these highs that's located here and wanting to see us compress back down to the downside. One thing that I can take notice of is that this is a very accumulating type profile where there is reasonings. If this was to fail, there is SMT here, so there is reasonings for us to go down lower. If price is to expand, there is that push downwards as YM is a lot stronger and NQ is a lot weaker as that SMT is getting put into play. We do have that strength switching right now. The asset setting the manipulation, which is YM, is reversing price. I'm not really liking this wick though. Not really liking that wick here. That can send us up higher. Is this the new 15? Do I be a fucking man about it? I don't know. It just looks very accumulating to me. There you go. So right there, this is your true manipulation. I like to see, okay, there you go. This is your accumulation, manipulation out of this high. This is the highest point of the day. V-shape reversal, and then 10 a.m. continuation downwards. Or just accumulate more. Well, fuck. Okay, well, new sweep, 15-minute model. Okay, 15-minute model here. And then your V-shape reversal off of this accumulation, manipulation. Now I'm looking for the secondary OB. Fuck that, bro. This whole thing is just chop, bro. This is a barcode. I'm good on it. Yeah, I'm good on it. This is where you get chopped up. Just the whole profile in general is just chopped. You don't really know anything here, right? You're just stuck within this range, not delivering, just developing. Weak bias. Just a weak bias. I'm not entirely sure what's going on right now. Yeah. It's like when I have a hard time reading price, it's just usually it sucks, you know what I mean? That's usually what the case is. If you're having a hard time reading it, then for the most part, it probably fucking the price action is just not for you, dog. So that was also FOMC. So there's a reason why price action was shitty. It's because it was FOMC. So perfect. Taking a look here, daily time frame. We are expanding down lower. Again, I'm bearish. Daily profile, internal to external. Looking like a London high a day. Right? Pressing us downwards. The high is not really set, I would say, but we do have a high of the 6 a.m. candle being set, right? We do have this accumulation, manipulation. We are pressing downwards now. I do want to be aware because we did tap into a very relevant level that can send us into a deeper phase of price where we may see a retracement back up higher. Okay, so this actually is very nice as we do have an SMT fill that is pushing me down to the downside like that, and we're going to trade the continuation here with the 3-minute OB off of the SMT fill to those next draws on liquidity, which is located below. I'm going to pull it in just a little bit more because I said I want to practice getting those limits in for those 2R plays down to the targets, not past the targets, right? So you see what I fucking mean, bro? Okay, so we're tapped in. There's your 2R. You see what I fucking mean, though, bro? Bro, imagine I'm over here crashing out and this is backtesting about missing the trade, bro. Like, if this was to happen to me in real life, bro, I'd be crashing out. I probably would have entered all the way down here and fuck up the whole thing, right? But, I mean, I'm being honest with you, right? That's why I don't do limits, because I usually wait for it, and then next thing you know, it's down here, and I enter somewhere all the way over here, and now it's like my whole fucking thing is messed up. I'd much rather just market enter and then overshoot for 2. Because for the most part, it usually goes, right? That's just off of my data. It usually goes that little bit more because of the fact that we are in bearish order. If I'm catching the expansion through it, that's just all it is, right? What this one was a 15-minute SMT fill. As YM retraced up into this gap and reversed off of it, NQ, the weaker asset, goes down to this low, open high into internal range liquidity here on the 4-hour time frame, and sets the high here, and we expand away from it, and then it doesn't really open up gaps. But what can we take notice is the manipulation at 8 a.m. C2 looking for 9 a.m. C3. We do have that accumulation, manipulation, push. The gap that does open away from this manipulative high, which is this gap here, is gaps we want to see hold price down to the downside. Gaps away from this manipulative high is the gaps we want to see hold. So YM goes and pushes us up into this gap and rejects off of it, leaving that SMT fill. So I chose NQ because the SMT fill direction. Obviously, all the other assets would have went down as well, but NQ was just that weaker asset to get us there, right? And then you got that SMT fill to the push down to the draw on liquidity, which is those lows that's located below us. All right, and that'd be basically it. Go to next day's open. All right, so taking a look here, higher time frame order flow, just higher time frame order flow. My bad. Sorry, it's 1:30 already, bro. I think I should end it after. Yeah, this is Friday. I'm gonna end it after this session. This day's backtesting. We have been expanding pretty much all week with multiple days of expansion. I'm looking to trade back into the range, external to internal, TGIF style, setting the low here. Looking at an New York SMT. Not really, but yeah, looking for a 6 a.m. reversal, trading back up to the high day, which is not forming anything of true significancy. We do have all of that low resistance liquidity that I would like to see press. NQ looking like the strongest asset right now intraday, going for this accumulation, manipulation, and looking for the distribution back up to the upside. And yeah, that's basically what it is, bro. Looking for us to press up higher. I can't trade lower here. That's just not what we're doing. We do have this SMT in between these swings like this. So with this SMT like that, there is reasonings for NQ to be considered that stronger asset. We'd like to see this 15-minute gap hold. The 15-minute gap is not holding. I'm not very bearish here, so I can't really say for certain that I want to be bearish. Looking more so for a TGIF up to the upside. So here would be your 15-minute C2. The asset is setting a new manipulation, as there is this SMT that's putting me in the downwards direction. Setting that low of the 10 a.m. candle here, I would like to see a V-shaped reversal off of these. Okay, so two staging now, as there is this SMT like that. And then now you can see the asset setting this manipulation is reversing price. So you can jump in here off of this SMT like that. Place this order, NQ, strength switches. And now we can trade back up to at least minimal this high as your break even point. Fuck. I think I'm gonna get out here. This is just my stop losses exposed, right? So I'm gonna get out, $100 loss. I'm cool with it. This doesn't belong to me anymore. And then yeah, just bad positioning. I thought we were gonna be bullish TGIF style, but obviously not, right? So I don't know. It's just gonna keep filling down. I'm done already, bro. It's already 1:30. Go to next day's open. Cool. I can't finish the month, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gotta go to sleep. It's been a long week for me, bro. I'm not even gonna front, dog. Not in terms of trading, but just personal life shit, bro. I swear. It's kind of tough, dog. Quite literally. Very, very. It's extremely tough right now, man. Extremely tough. Okay, cool. So currently 13R in half a month. So doing very well this session. So pretty much just winning. A lot of them is just dubs, bro. Got dubs in the chat. Dubs in the chat. Up 13R currently on 3/4 of a month. We got one last week to go, but I'm tapping out already, dog. I don't got it in me. Other than that, I'm gonna go to sleep. If you guys like this type of content, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you guys in the next session. I do apologize as well, guys, for not trading these. I haven't been trading this week, bro. I'm taking a break. I just got personal issues right now. Personal things that's impacting my trading ability. It's gonna impact it at least. Kind of scared to trade right now, I'm not gonna lie, because of it. But that's what it's all about, bro. Knowing when to. This is like some of the first things I'm doing. Watch like back in business, bro. I gotta get back in the groove because kind of fell off for a little bit, but doing better now. And yeah, we gotta get back on track though. I ain't gonna lie about that. Gotta get back on track. Other than that, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next session. Peace.